I love light jelly. Light jelly is so amazing. It's incredible. I have to tell myself no because you've already had one of those drinks. Howdy, everyone, and happy, glorious Monday. Monday. This Monday has been really interesting. Studying, check. Learning ASL, check. Working out. I'm going to actually get started on that in a bit. And I have done probably one of the most fascinating, intriguing collabs I've done with Vanessa the Bunny, who formerly, was formerly known as Van, but transitioned to female. So now their name is Vanessa. Make sure you go check them out. I already, did I not already? There. I already copy and paste their Twitch link. I was there for 2 hours. I enjoyed myself. I was confused throughout the whole collab, but I enjoyed every moment of it. So my plan is just to enjoy the rest of this Monday, play some Fatal Fury, and before we get started, I hope you all are doing good and you're taking care of yourselves. Let's go ahead and talk about sci-fi. Nah, we could talk about tariffs. Nah, that's a downer topic. Nothing really much we all can do about that. Furality. Yeah, let's talk about Furality. A lot of people are excited for it. I'm actually going to gift one of my friends tickets to Furality. And, and on a side note, I actually have a special video in dedication to Furality Somna as well. You know how, like, Furality has, like, those little video submissions and, if the stars align and everything is just, perfectly, organized and you just happen to submit the right video at the right time, you know, everything works out and your video gets chosen and showcased at Furality. That's not going to happen with mine. And if you read the title, I think I already spoiled what I mostly am going to pretty much be discussing. While that's being discussed, I am simply just going to be working out. I'll be on the treadmill. I'm going to work. I'm going to do some planks. And also, a big shout out to this YouTuber. I do apologize, I forgot their name. But they stated that if you are constantly doing 100 push ups a day, it's okay. Just don't just do that. Don't do that all the time. Do it in sets. So if you're going to do 150 diamond push ups, you have to do 5 sets of 20, 5 sets of 10, or 5 sets, whatever you got to do. Me personally, what I did 5 sets of 20 diamond push ups, and I noticed a huge difference. I did diamond push ups 20, and I did a plank for 10 seconds, and then push ups, and then plank. And I've noticed the difference in how I started to have a little bit better maneuverability of my arms as well. It's great. So I'm going to do that from now on. Although I'm not going to lie, I am going to miss actually pushing do 180 diamond push-ups or 200 diamond push-ups just like that. But it's not really about just how much you can do. It's about your form. If your form is right and if you are able to take your time and breathe as you're doing your workout and your exercise, that's how you're going to get faster results. So in addition to that, reinventors, let's continue the reinvention process. I know it's a lot going on. Hope you got your snacks and everything, because you're all about to figure out and find out why, after 4 years of supporting Furality, of course, out of all the three, the first one was the only one where I could not, pay for the sponsorship, role. Why, out of 4 Furalities that were unforgettable and amazing, I am going to miss out on my 5th one. So just give me a moment here while I find a video recording and while that goes on, I am going to go ahead and do what I do best. Also, there's a lot of art pieces from, via commissions that I definitely want to show off. And in addition to that, videos I've been working on as well. So it's been going smoothly. And, the special Furality based vid is pretty much done. It took me 5 hours to work on. When I should have been in bed after working out for an hour after work, I decided to work on that video. It took way too long. So that's why I'm a little bit eepy. But anyway, let me just check and see if there's any news on Fatal Fury City of Wolves. Please buy the game. Like, seriously. Capcom and SNK, they're working together and they're actually trying to push a Capcom versus SNK 3. And, but we got to make sure that Fatal Fury City of Wolves succeeds. So, and also, for those of you that either beat the game or saw the ending, Fatal Fury City of Wolves has an amazing ending, honestly. Honestly, probably one of the best top 5 endings I've seen in a fighting game to date. And of course, if anybody wants to talk to me about the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nin 2, I don't care. I'm not buying it. I'm not wasting my money on it. But if you will, hats off to you. Have fun. You can talk to me about it, but I'm not buying it. I didn't buy the first one. I'm not buying the second one. It has nothing to do with the price. It's just me personally. There's just nothing there. There's just nothing there that just makes me say, I gotta have a Switch 2. So proud of myself that I continue to boycott that company after 10 years. I'm gonna continue to do so because there's nothing that they have for me. Same with PlayStation. I got PC, I got Xbox Game Pass until Xbox Game Pass continues to fade away to nothingness. The new Doom's coming soon. Yes, I saw the Doom Master Chief fight, and they did everything correctly with the analysis. Again, if they written Master Chief where he had a weapon that could have at least, probably stopped the Doomslayer, but nah, it's just impossible. But good match overall. I enjoyed it. But anyway, I'm wasting time here. It's literally 6 o'clock. And once again, huge shout out to DoorDash. You were amazing. Thank you so much. But yeah, here we go. Go ahead and download this. And I know some of you thinking, oh, well, can we see a sneak peek of the video? No. No, you may not. No, you may not. You will see the video on the day of Furality. Alrighty, so. And if I have time, I actually want to also have a side topic about my gripes with wrestling these days. Because if you all have seen the Sabu's last match and just what's going on with wrestling in general outside of WWE AEW, you're gonna notice a pattern, that I pretty much already broke down when it came to what was it, the WrestleMania breakdown vid where I pretty much talked about the discrepancies that I had with each WrestleMania, but it didn't really start to show until like the PG era, where I was still able to find a lot of positives, and there was not a single WrestleMania, despite any issues that I had, that I gave a C. Not even what people are quoting the worst WrestleMania ever. It has the worst main event ever, but it does not make it the worst WrestleMania ever. WrestleMania 41 is not the worst WrestleMania ever, and I wish people would stop saying that Night 1 was terrible. It is not. It's actually absolutely amazing. Night 2 is the one that kind of fell flat, even though it had at least 2 or 3 good matches. So anyway, let's do this, because I got a lot to do. Y'all enjoy yourselves.
Howdy, hey everyone, this is Wilkins, You're a 30 plus year old gynosexual rare guest star pone that you need in your life or not. And how are you all doing today? So, people are asking me this question on Wilkins, will you be attending Furality Somna? And the answer to that is quite simple. No, no, I don't think I will. And I have my reasons for this. And no, it's not because of the price that's been rumored. I'm not worried about that, okay? When you work and you want to attend something that's really nice as Furality, go for it. It's honestly an unforgettable journey. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you all the truth on the part of my experience that I don't like telling people about when it comes to Furality, okay? I am going to give you all the rundown what goes down at Furality, and then the rest is completely up to you, okay? This is not a rant. This is not a vent. This is just me simply just stating my experience and what I've noticed with all the four pluralities that I've attended, except for two of them, which is unfortunate because I didn't even know about plurality. Again because I took a long break from VRChat, and this was when I first started VRChat back in 2018, 2017, I believe, which was also around the first time that I actually got into Ponytown, or was it 2019? Not really sure, but it was around that time. But anyway, here it is why I'm not attending Furality or the next three Furalities. Shown all of their endless love for Friday. Probably even seen my name on a few of the sponsorship tiers. Yeah, that's me. Thousands of others who have It's one of the things where I can say, man, I really love supporting Feraldi regardless. However, there are some elephants that I'm gonna have to address in the room. Maybe some Siberian tigers, if you catching my drift. You get my point. So the first and foremost reason why I'm not attending Ferality is based on how I've been treated by the furry community lately. I don't know what's going on with them. I know they're going through a hard time with the fact that they lost, their beloved leader, and we lost Dragnir. So due to that, a lot of people have just been acting kind of odd lately. And of course, if I try to bring this up, people are gonna be like, "Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's just all in your head." But my other friends, they noticed this too. And when I talked to them about Ferality, they even said themselves, "Yeah, I'm good. I think I'll pass." So let me explain this, okay? When you attend Ferality, right, you're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to meet game designers, artists. You're going to meet those who used to work in movies, those who used to work in game design, or those that are currently working on a game. Ferality is pretty much this big place where, I'm just going to be real with you, big timers come to advertise, 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 advertise their movies, advertise their game, advertise their art, advertise, advertise. It's just a big old place where they all come to advertise, which is ingenious, by the way. And you want to know where it's also a big place for? Streamers, specifically furry streamers, and they're everywhere. And I was one of them on Twitch. Pull out that camera, start streaming, and just have ourselves a good old time and ball. And trust me, they are unforgettable moments. Literally staying up for literally 12 hours and drinking coffee and just having ourselves a wonderful time trying to stay up. Well, that was me, but now I'm just like, now I just enjoy my naps. If I'm tired, I'm just gonna go take me a nap. So that's just one of the issues that I have is that, with the treatment that I have with the furry community, it's always been people have been acting standoffish towards me. When I ask for collabs, it's kind of like, oh yeah, sure, I do it, and then they'll do it with someone else. It's just this type of behavior that I've noticed, and it's kind of odd. And I'll get back to that in just a moment, but that's just a placeholder. But the number one reason that kind of like annoys me is that it's an advertiser's paradise. Everyone has to advertise everything. I get it. It's a smart business move, but it's like, man, I just want to have fun. I just want to meet people. I just want to have nice, engaging conversations. But people just have to constantly just advertise this, advertise that, advertise. Again, it's fine, but me personally, it's just kind of a nuisance because again, I just want to meet people. I just want to have unforgettable moments, but it's just I don't know, man. People just rub me the wrong way when they constantly keep doing that. If you're someone that, you know, you run a business and you have to do this, that's perfectly fine. But I'm talking about the ones that are trying to get people to follow their channel, that are trying to get people to join their group, that are trying to get people to do this. And it's just, and they're everywhere. They are literally everywhere. And this is also the place where people that were kind of mean to you are also super nice, and you know they get a little few drinks and whatnot. And this is what I just look at. I'm like, man, a lot of two-faced behavior here because that's one streamer that you met outside of Furality would act like you didn't exist, but because their face is on camera, now all of a sudden they want to send you friend requests and stuff like that. I don't understand this notion, and it's kind of annoying. Like I said, advertisers paradise. And this is the place where certain people like to celebrate subathons and will say, oh my goodness, I'm so close to being partnered and check out my art and I'm doing 10% off here and 5% off here and yada yada yada. And if they are a big timer, they love to show off how much they donated to charity. Again, this is kind of like a monkey's paw moment. It's like, oh yeah, you advertised a charity, congrats. But it's just like, I'm just here to learn more about furries, even though I'm a 20 plus year furry. Right? I just want to have fun, but okay, cool, thanks. There's the right way to advertise, and there's the wrong way, and there's a lot of wrong ways when people do this, and this just becomes more of a headache than it does me having fun. The tutorials that they offer aren't really helpful. I'm gonna be honest with you, they offer a lot of tutorials in Unity and they're not really helpful. For someone like me with a learning disability, I look at those tutorials and I'm just like, what? So yeah, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wow, I'm so excited and I'm taking notes and I'm just like, this isn't really helpful. And a lot of tutorials that they offer aren't really done in real time. They're done via a video. It would have been nice if this was done in real time or they had like an actual live example that I can look at so I could be like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. But no, they have us sit here in a room and we watch a bunch of videos and then they don't release set videos until the day of virality. And then you realize, oh, wait, this is just stuff I could have just looked up myself. If they really want people to want to learn more about Unity and Blender, show them live examples like a 3D hologram or something, or actually do a live stream where people can see this in real time. This will be more engaging, and people are going to be like, whoa, I didn't know that, instead of just having us sit here and watch videos. I can do that already for free. And I know what someone say, but you can talk to people and stuff like that. Yeah, and I could do the same thing if I wanted to. Again, I understand that VR chat is limited on what it can do, but it wouldn't hurt just to try it. Try it one time, and watch your reception will go from to whoa, that's cool. Like, how cool would it be if we actually got to see someone, I don't know, like the 1 minute blender guy who's in a fursona just literally just showing us how to, I don't know, make a skyscraper in 1 minute. And we're just blown away. We're just like, holy crud, that is actually awesome. And actually do all of this in real time. And it's just like, whoa, this guy actually did this within 1 minute or at least 6 minutes. That's pretty impressive. And now I understand Blender a little bit more. But no, instead we just gotta sit there and watch videos. Yay. Awesome. Let me go back to the whole about how, my treatment with the furries, okay? Still love them to pieces. I've already talked about this in video, but I want to go further into what happens when I'm at Furality. So this is gonna be a doozy. Grab your snacks and a drink because this one's probably gonna be a little bit extended. Okay, so here's pretty much the experience of what you're gonna deal with. You're gonna see a lot of people who spend a little bit of extra money as they put all these little assets on them. And they have like their little signs, just saying, hey, they're excited, to be at Furality. Let me tell y'all something. Furality is fun. It's amazing, and it's just beautiful. The worlds are amazing, and trust me when I say I always take so many pictures of those moments until you realize that these are moments with people that you'll never ever talk to. Didn't mean to be a downer there, but again, this is coming from someone who's been a part of Furality for 4 years and was introduced to Furality by the Click Clack crew, and I'm very grateful for them. The Click Clack crew and the Rock crew. It's just, oh, here's the kicker. Remember how in Furality they used to make it where when you go into these instances, it was a mystery. Like, oh man, and I talked about this before. It's like, oh man, like who am I gonna meet? Now they made it where you know who's going to be there, and it destroyed my hype. It really did. So now it's like, oh, I know that my friends are in this instance. But the whole mystery and intrigue of, oh, I'm gonna go to this room and this room, and oh, look, here's someone I haven't seen it. Like that was fun. I enjoyed that. My ADD brain was loving that. Now it's literally like if someone enabled cheat codes and it's like, oh yeah, here you go. This is what you do, and there you go. It's just like, oh, oh, cool. Okay, I'm getting off track. I'm getting off track. I apologize. That's just my ADD talking. But anyway, here's the experience. You get in there, you see a lot of furries and whatnot. They're in their nice little avatars and whatnot, and it's cool and it's great. You're excited, you're just showing up in your little avatar and whatnot, and one of the two things gonna happen. If you dare show up to a Furality and you don't have any of the tags and you pay for sponsorship and whatnot, they're gonna look at you and say, how come you didn't add the tags, whatnot. And I'm just like, because I didn't want to. I don't want to wear a tag. I've already paid my way here, and I just want to have fun, meet new artists, and just take pictures and meet people and talk to them. And whether they want to be my friend or not, I don't care. I just want to have that experience. But I'm constantly getting bombarded with questions. Irony, because my name's Why People Why. And it's like, well, I don't care if I don't want to wear all these tags just to show, look, I went to this Furality and this Furality and this Furality and this just to make my avatar even more unoptimized. No, I'm good. My avatar already needs work and fixing enough. So I don't want to wear all of that or wear that on my arm and everything. I'm sorry, I don't. It would be nice, right? If instead of having like, these tags that are just constantly like just hanging on your avatar, how about holographic ones that are a little bit more optimized? How cool would that be? You have a toggle and it's like, ooh, look at that, bam, 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 bam. I think that would have been cool. Now I get it. A lot of people, they want the physical lanyards, and that's awesome. But well, not lanyards, like the little tags. Although lanyards would be pretty nice too, like to wear around your avatar. That would be pretty cool. But it's just give us the option. Like, hey, you want the digital or do you want the physical? And I'm like, oh, that would be really nice. Another thing that would be really cool and a nice addition. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked again. Is actually let us print out our lanyards. Let us like actually type. Like have like a page where you can like type out your name or like uh, you write in cursive your name and then print it out, and then you can just place it right there like a little sticker. That'll be pretty cool, right? But nah, let's just have digital, no, no, just digital little assets that are like pretty much like physical, that show like to be physical, but no holographic ones. I mean, it's 2025, so yeah. But anyway. So I just always found it to be kind of a little bit of a nuisance. Like, why you got to keep asking me about my tags? Like who cares? And especially if you don't wear the assets, it's just like you want me to put all this stuff on and just make my avatar even more unoptimized. Doesn't really make a lick of sense, but They'll bother you about that, and I kind of wish they would stop. Just be happy that people are taking time out of their work day or getting over someone's death just to attend these nice little events. Another thing that I really notice, and just you'll notice this too, is that you're going to meet a lot of people that you haven't talked to in years. And this could be due to personal reasons, or this could be due to the fact that that individual just ghosted you for some odd reason, or whatever the reason may be. You try talking to them, and they are going to play the "Who are you" card. They're going to play this over and over and over again. I How about, hey, it's been a while. How are you? Who are you, man? I don't even remember where I first saw you. And this is because a lot of these furries like to be drunk and intoxicated, so they're not gonna remember who you are. And oh, and just happened to come across a person who banned you from a stream, even though you don't even know why, or they don't even know why, because they're intoxicated. But their mod who just happens to remember you, you try to go into their stream and talk to them. This has happened to me personally, and you get banned for no reason. And stuff like that destroys your hype. It destroys your excitement because you already paid money and you just want to have a good time. And here goes someone trying to start some unnecessary drama with you, and y'all don't even know each other. And speaking of which, when someone tries to bring stuff up in the past and you're just trying to chill, thank goodness for the Furality staff for like shutting that down if they catch a whiff of it, or people will shut people down for doing that. But it's like, why at Furality? But these are the type of behaviors that you will deal with. Being asked these questions, wondering who you are, and or you'll engage in an hour or two long conversation with someone that you're really gonna love, and you have all these new friends, and y'all friend each other, and then guess what? After Furality, y'all don't see each other again because life. Because life. You could take that however quote you want. Life will do that to you, and it's totally unfair because you really like these people, you exchange discords, y'all talk, y'all excited, and then all of a sudden life hits you, and then people get depressed when Furality is over. Ugh. Or you'll get the whole, hey man, you'll get the whole constantly getting, invited by your other furry friends who couldn't afford Furality, so then you feel bad, so you tell them about the program and stuff, and all of that stuff happens, and it gives you a headache. You're tired, you're just drained, and then all of a sudden your time is just done. Or of course some big timer comes up and you're talking and your friends all of a sudden ghost you for that person and join their group. That can happen too. All of this happens at Furality. And don't you dare lie to me and tell me that it doesn't. And it happens off camera. It happens where no one is showcased on the official live stream of Furality. And that's another issue that I have. Why is it is such a hunt just to look for specific instances to be showcased live at Furality? Is this some Breakfast Club that I'm not aware of? Like, do I have to make X amount of dollars and have some type of pitch perfect reputation just to get to know who these people are? I don't understand this. People paid money to go to these events, and we have to search through instances. And if you happen to know that one person that happens to, have contact with these folks, then all of a sudden you could be showcased live on stream in front of hundreds of people that you're never ever going to meet. It's like, why not show all the instances? Why not show everyone? Why not make everyone feel special? Because it's like Jane Stephanie Sterling said when it comes to the entertainment industry, it's a big old party and you're not invited. I I don't understand this. If I was hosting these, I would make sure that Every single instance is broadcast live, so everyone feels special and everyone can have that moment. And small streamers can also have their moment to shine too. Nope. Let's just focus on the big timers. So annoying. It's happened in every single Furality, and I really don't like that at all. It's one of the things that has bothered me the most, but yeah, it's just kind of like one of those moments, and it's just. So it's like with every positive that happens, right? There's always that negative that just occurs and it just destroys everything. And let's not forget, the type of furries where, oh, they act like they haven't seen you forever, even though you've been in an instance by yourself or been on Discord, and it just. Now, with those people, I understand because it could just be you're busy. But I'm talking about the ones that knew that you were online and knew of your existence and knew. It's just social media is just terrible, okay? When it comes to keeping up people in communication, they have to do a better job. They have to. Maybe AI needs to come and help us so we can not forget about certain people, but that's just me. But that's just pretty much all I have to say. It's advertiser paradise, and when it comes, and these are the type of individuals that you're gonna meet, and by goodness, I have to do a side rant on this. So yes, side rant. Why is it that big streamers feel like now is the time at Virality to finally send friend requests? I get it. This is a place where you feel more safe and secure. But why do you send friend requests and then state that you're way too busy to even get to know or meet half of these people that you friended? And then make promises and never fulfill them on behalf of that person that you friended. Whether it be a collab, whether it be with streaming, whether it be with making a video, it doesn't really make any sense. Just don't even bother. Just take a picture and move on. And here's the ones that I don't understand. If you're so tired, go to sleep. Just go to sleep. I get it. You want to have fun, you want to party, but sometimes it's just best to go to sleep. Or do what I do, take a nap before the event starts. Have your snacks and food ready, your DoorDash and everything ready. Make sure you exercise and worked out. Rest your body so that way you can stay up all the way till, let's see, from 12 midnight on, what is it, Thursday to 12 or 1 p.m. on, Friday, so that way you can rest again and get up and start all over again. Naps are vital, and I wish a lot of them would understand this. And furries, they love to cuddle. I love cuddles too. Schedule that. Schedule cuddle sessions. Like, all right, folks, I'm getting tired. Let's have a cuddle session. And then, of course, these are the ones that really get under my skin, especially with the big time furries. Oh my goodness. Join our group. Here's our group ID. Here's our group ID. Here you go. Here's a group ID. Here's a group ID. What if I just don't want to join your group? What if I just want to just chill with you and just go wherever I want because I pay for it? Yeah, exactly. Did you ever think of that? When you join a group, well, now you got to do what they want to do. So they want to go to a game world. Well, you got to go to that game world too. You want to go to a food exhibit, but they want to go to, learn about a game exhibit. Too bad. You have to wait your turn. It's not fair and it's wrong because of the fact that you pay for your ticket and now you have to tag along with this group because of this big time streamer or whatnot. It's unfair and it's not right. That's why, because I did it before, that's why Lily was like, you're not going to force me into this group. I'm going to go and do whatever I want. You're not going to tell me do this, this, and this. This kind of reminds me of like what I dealt with elementary school when I was at this one amusement park, right? And my family warned me. They said, do your own thing. If your team starts treating you a certain way or whatnot, do your own thing. It don't matter if you get in trouble. Go ride the rides. Have fun. Just have fun. And let your teacher know how your friends or your teacher, sorry, not teacher, or how your teammates have been treating you. Stand up for yourself. Is all I got to say to those that are shy. At Furality, you better stand up for yourself because there's going to be a lot of events you want to go to. Don't let nobody stop you from going there. Speak up. And if they want to make a big deal about it and want to kick you from the group saying, well, I'm a big time streamer and, these slots are already full. So if you don't want to be a part of it and you don't want to do what I say, then you have to leave. Then leave. Leave. Just leave and have fun. Have fun and show that person what for. That's how you do it. That's why when people talk to me about joining their group, I say, nah, I'm good. I'll see you when I see you because that leader, they have a power trip. And I get it. They act like, it brings you back to elementary or middle school in a way where it's like, okay, I'm the leader. We're gonna do this, and this, and this. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I don't care if it was Twilight Sparkle herself with Applejack and Fluttershy. I start getting a hint of that. As much as I loved them, I'm saying, sorry, Twilight, I'm just gonna go my way. Oh, but no. I assure that everyone, Twilight, it's all good. I just rather do my own thing. I'll see you when I see you. And that's why I do that. But that's one of the things that have really annoyed me the most, and I just never took the time to actually like express that frustration because it's just not cool, man. It's not cool that people do that and then think that that's okay. It's not okay. People just want to have fun. They don't want to be bossed around, told what to do. Look, if I'm going to be bossed around, told what to do, it's by, well, my boss at my IRL job, but that's pretty much it. Like, or by the man upstairs. But other than that, no. Just no. It's just, oh my goodness. I wish they would understand that that's not fun. It's not fun when you create this atmosphere where you're the leader and everyone has to do what you say. Like, listen, if I was the leader of a group, I would do this. I would say, hey, we are going to do this as a team. You tell me what you want to do. You tell me what you want to do. And, and if you need to run off and do what you need to do, that's fine. But there will be times that we have to meet back up or you're going to miss out on the concerts. Now, I have heard that there are groups like that, but I couldn't find them. I've always dealt with people that were like, this is our schedule. And this is what we have to do. And it's like, after all this money I spent, I will be damn if you're gonna ruin it and tell me what to do. And you're not even a sponsor. Like, nah. And even if you were, I would still look at you and say, you are not about to ruin my time just because you want to have a power trip. I don't think so. I would just leave. I've had to do that on so many occasions. I would get invites. I would be told, join my group. And I would do it. And I would get so annoyed to the point where I'm like, I'm gone. I'm out. I wouldn't even make an announcement. I'm like, I'm gone. I'm out. And it would honestly ruin my mood for Furality. It would ruin it. But again, this is more of a personal thing. So that's just simple as just leave. It's not that hard. But just because something has a simple solution doesn't mean that that person still doesn't have the right to address their concerns. You still have a right to open your mouth. Just because someone has a simple solution doesn't, give people the right to tell that person to be quiet and they can't talk about it. But yeah, that's pretty much the experience that you'll have. But other than that, you're going to have fun. You're going to meet a lot of awesome people and it's going to be unforgettable. And yeah, so. And heck, I even thought about doing like a Furality survival guide, which is simply, just make your meals ahead of time. Make sure that, that they're pretty, organic and healthy. You can have at least, you know, one snack that's like filled with a bunch of fat and, sugar and whatnot. That's fine. But, naps, preparing your meals for this 4 day online, you know, um, amazing event, and just making sure that everything with your family or just everything in general with you is done, that you have your off days approved. Just make sure that you're also in an area where there's lots of room, and let people know that you're going to be loud. And if you're like a teenager or whatnot, talk to your parents. Let them know, hey, I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be screaming. I'm gonna be excited. What's my cutoff time for when I have to keep it down? Really communicate with your family, and they will be understanding. And here's the thing: if you're tired, and and if you all are of age, you know what I mean. And let's just say you have a little brother, sister, and they're responsible, and you want them to experience it, go for it. Just put in your bio like, hey, um, just letting y'all know that if I sound different, that's just my little bro, sister. Yes, they are of age. They're just chilling, having fun. If you need to talk to me, just let them know, and hopefully they'll remind me or something. Like, there's so many ways to do this, and just to have fun. Furality is fun, okay? It's fun. I attended 4 of these for a reason, because I had nothing but unforgivable amount of fun. But within that unforgettable amount of fun, I did have my issues. And I'm allowed to state said issues because it's my right to do so. So we talked about different types of furries that you will meet. And most of the time, you're going to meet furries that are very genuine, very sweet, very kind, loving. Will talk to you. Will show you the ropes. Some will act like tour guides. Some will literally give you history lessons. Some will love to tell you about their stories of how they became a game designer or an artist. Their journey on life, what they've learned so far this year. So it's mostly positive. What I just stated was just my reason as to some of them that I met that I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to really attend Furality. But don't let that stop you for wanting to attend Furality. Does that make sense? I'm probably confusing you, but if you listen, you'll understand what I'm saying. So we talked about different types of furries. We know the good and the bad. We, like the disgruntled, or like in the middle. We talked about, how's it advertised as paradise, and we talked about the issue that I have with the quote unquote tutorial based events. Do it live or just don't do it at all. And listen, but what about when it's close to like the after? If it's the after, then yes, do just or a pre-recording. That's fine. But if it's live, have people to rotate. Okay, this person's done. Now it's your turn. 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 Now, if you need to take a break, do pre-recording, but put on their pre-recording session. That way people will know. It's Furality. You're supposed to be active and having fun. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, unless you want an AI bot to do it for you, which that will be terrible. So let's not start that, shall we? Now, regardless of what you all are going to say, oh, he's just complaining. Fine, whatever. I think we can all agree on this one thing. Furality is VR chat's worst nightmare on a technical standpoint. There was a moment, and shout out to the professionalism of, the individual that runs, like one of the top dogs that runs Furality, where he was trying to give a live speech and he crashed hard, came back, and like the Chad he was, and still gave his speech. Same tone. That was a highlight moment, honestly. And that, in my opinion, should been recorded, posted, should have been memed, and it should have had over 1 million hits, because you don't find a lot of people who keep their cool like that. especially with technology. Hats off to that individual. Hats off to them. That's awesome. But yeah, the technical issues is unbearable. When after so long of being on Furality, because this app used up so much of a VRAM, and I've given the advice multiple times before you start, make sure that your computer is updated, or you know. I was about to say your Quest is updated, but there's really nothing much you can do on Quest except use safe mode and just only enable avatars as you go. The experience on Quest is miserable. I'm just letting you know that right now. Just get a PC, please. On Quest, you have to use safe mode. You have to be careful to make sure that you don't, run into any avatars that will lag you out. It's still fun, but it's like, why even bother? I mean, only use this if you have to. Just invest in a PC. If you the amount of money that you pay for a PC is the amount of money that you can pay for a used car. Have that mindset, and getting a PC isn't all that expensive. If anything, getting a PC, high end PC is more affordable than getting a used car. It's literally around the same price. It just depends on the brand and the make of the car. Yeah, imagine that. Um, the best advice that I can honestly offer is just reset your modem. Make sure that your computer is up to date, graphics cards updated, um, and make sure that you have an external hard drive so you can save all your pictures there. And and then once you've done all of that, and you have everything updated, and you have the upgrades that you need, you can simply just hop on and you'll deal with less technical issues. However, you will still deal with some. Some will consist of lag. Some will consist of syncing issues when listening to live concerts. I've had this happen to me before, and I had to keep pressing the sync button. Like I was in that Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, mean standing here, I realize. Like, oh goodness, it's not fun. I really don't like having to keep pressing the sync button while I'm trying to listen to someone's glorious voice or doing a DJ. Like, come on, man. It's just it's tiring. It's tiring on top of the fact that I'm already tired. It's just no. 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 Just stop it. No. 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 Please. I really hope that they fix that. I really do. I really, really do. Every single Furality is known for having a lot of technical hiccups, some of which involve crashing, some of which involved not being able to get into an instance because it's automatically full. What's another issue that tends to happen at random? I guess that's honestly the only ones that I can think of. It's mostly just the lag and the crashes. And I believe there was other issues that I can think of, but they're pretty minute and minor. All in all, the team, especially, the technical support, are really quick to fix these issues immediately because they're literally on the clock. And I hope they get paid extra for that. Like, seriously, like they're getting provided Raising Canes or something because that's a lot on a small team of tech experts. So hats off to them. I love them to pieces. They are awesome. So I gotta give them that. The customer service is fantastic as well. I have seen the customer service support team, how they are able to provide free tickets for those who pretty much, apply for the program just so they can attend Furality so no one misses out. And honestly, this is where I have to say thumbs up to Furality for this. They have done this for every single Furality, even the two that I've learned that I missed. The customer service is beyond superb, fantastic. They know how to deal with frustrated, individuals. They know how to deal with those that are just extremely happy, just giving them endless feedback. And they are always just ready to go when deal with people. I have not met one that has given anybody a terrible time. And they're very understanding and they listen very well to feedback. And they handle, certain people that are controversial accordingly. Like they're always prepared. I love the team. I love the team. I love the leader. And I've had the privilege, thanks to, you know, a certain somebody who now goes by the name of Blueberry, the legend himself, who is now 18, who bent his back forwards and backwards just so I can meet some of the staff, actually be showcased live on the Furality stream, and meet Finn themselves. And like honestly, I still have the picture. And again, I thank him, and I also thank Fluffy Ooh and so many other of the Arflin lads who were like DJs and whatnot for helping me to meet one of my favorite DJs, DJ Ear, and I wrote a big old thank you letter to him, and I just love that. See, it's moments like that that I still remember. Okay, I still remember those moments. Those were incredible, and no matter what I do, if that's negative, which is very minute, by the way, I always think about those moments that make me want to come back. However, there's one last reason as to why I'm not attending Furality. It's the price, isn't it? Nope. It's I don't know. Well, this one's gonna hurt when I say this. The final reason why I will not be attending this Furality or the next four unless someone gives me a ticket is really, I'm gonna give you two reasons. Number one, work. Work. It's work, and it's just the fact that, self care is very important. I have to make sure that I'm caring for myself and I'm working out consistently and I'm taking care of projects and I'm working on videos and I'm taking care of my dog that's elderly who has heard me, scream, shout, joy. Even my family member would be like, wow, you're just having a lot of fun in here, aren't you? Like I honestly wanted to like uh put the headset on her head and show my family member like, hey, this is what Ferality is like, like check this out, you know, and experience it for a moment, just see what it's like. Like I'll find somebody. We'll get you a fursona. We're gonna make this really fun for you. And like I got a headset. Let's do this. Let's just have fun together. But that's honestly one of the other main reasons as to why I can't attend because you know it's the self care. It's the fact that work, and the last final like side reason is I feel like my time of being this pony streamer, is starting to wrap up for me. So, my main goal when I was at Ferality was to meet a lot of people, streamers, and I feel like I've done everything. It's like replaying an old video game, that I haven't touched in a while. And I don't want Ferality to feel like that. I don't want Ferality to feel like I'm just now doing side quests. Now, when I meet and talk to people, I feel more like a veteran instead of just someone that's new. It's like now what I do when I go to Ferality is I find those that are shy and I help them out and I get them out of their shell, or I try to reconnect with those I haven't talked to in a while. And I mean, heck, I'll never forget when I gave my speech dedicated to my deceased friend who was part of LGBTQ. I talked about how I'm a gynosexual, how everyone was just, just applauding me and they were giving me hugs. And it was a beautiful feeling, you know. Like I said, it really hurts to do this because I know a lot of my friends are going to have the time of their lives. They're going to take pictures. They're going to rub it in my face, say, you missed out. Why did you miss it? And I'm just going to be smiling. I'm going to give them hugs. And I'm going to say, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you had a wonderful time. But, you know, have I been treated just a little bit better within the furry community, this year? Have I, you know, had a little bit more time to prepare, my pony Sona? And have I, been able to get a few more of my projects done? Then I would gladly say, you know, yeah, I'm going to attend. This will be the first time ever that I say no. And I'm not sad about it. Treat it like a normal day. Um, I won't even be checking out the live streams on Twitch. I'm just going to focus more on me, focus more on what I need to do. And I believe around this time, I will finally be in classes and be focusing on, just schooling. So I'm not going to have the time to attend any of these events. To put it nicely, I need a detox from Furality. It was great. I had my time. And I want those that are new, that are young, I want y'all to attend, have fun, enjoy yourself. Don't focus on the price, pay for it. And just have yourself a blast. Meet all the wonderful people. Don't let no one stop you from enjoying your time at Furality. And, just, you know, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about trying to meet certain people. Just enjoy yourself, have fun, take pictures. The customer service is S ranking, which is above an A. You will have no problems. You are safe there. The technical issues will easily be resolved. Just have patience and let the streamer stream. Just say hi, but kind of just go on about your business. And, all in all, really, really enjoy yourself and show love and care. And I have some advice for the streamers. Okay. I have some helpful advice. I don't care if you're 18 plus streamer. I don't care if you're an all about the kids streamer. I don't care if you're a streamer that's whatever. Be on your best behavior and keep it PG-13, okay? All right. Now, if you want to have your own little private sessions, then do it at your own private time and host your own little instances and have your own little groups. But this is a family event. This is your time to really show that you are more than just a streamer, that you are a human being, that you actually have a heart, and that you actually care for people, and that you can actually show the bright side of the furry community. It doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter if you're someone that drinks, smokes, or whatever. Let me tell you something. Some of my biggest heroes when I was a kid, they smoked, they drink, and they had addictions, but they never harmed kids. And they ended up being one of my best friends who's no longer with me. So don't ever kid yourself thinking that it's too late for you to be that shining example. If anything, they can learn a lot from you. You don't have to be this pitch perfect, shining bright example, for children. You just need to, you know, show that you can be better than that version of yourself and continue on. Who knows that 13, 14, 15-year-old man could change your life and teach you things that you need to be reminded of. So don't ever kid yourself in thinking that you only just can hang around adults and that's it, man. This is your chance to really show the furry community that regardless of where we stand, we know how to separate the two and make sure that those kids, those teenagers have the best time. And you want to know something? That's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but that's what I did. When it was Furality time, I was professional. I was very sweet to people. It didn't matter what their age range was. And I just had a wonderful time. And, and I made it perfectly clear, you know, like, hey, I'm talking to someone. I understand you like to do your little stuff, but take that in another instance. Like I stood up for myself multiple times and I never abandoned anyone. And and if I have, during that time, because Ferrari is such a big event, I want to apologize personally. Ferrari leaves you in an array of so many emotions, okay? And listen, I know there's going to be some friends of mine that are going to be very angry and disappointed in me. I already know. Because if the moment when I tell them I can't attend, they're going to be like, "What?" They're like, "No, come on." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I can't." It has to be a new chapter for me. I was honored to be able to, and privileged to attend all four of these Feralities. Aqua still being the best of the best. Let's just be real here. Aqua is just that Ferality that cannot be beat. It's like, listen, it's like WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 20. There's just some moments that you just can't beat. Yeah, there could be like, you know, events that could be better, but it's just some of those moments that you just can't outdo because it was there and it was just so refined and prepared. And I feel like Ferrari at this point is just kind of run low on gas on what it can do. And here's another bonus reason. There's really not much else to do afterwards. When you first attain Ferrari, you feel like there's so much to do. When in all actuality, it consists of talking, going to a group event and talking, 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 tutorials, DJs, and games. What could really prevent this from being like this is simple. The community has to put their brains together. Have little mini games and events going on in the Discord. And have Pacific game worlds designed for virality. And then have the community vote on which game world was the best. So that way it can be released to the public. That way the whole furry community can say, we decided that. So I don't like the whole exclusivity thing, but if you're going to have people pay money, it's best to do so. You're going to have exclusive based game worlds. I know, boo me, but you have to make it special. You're going to have certain moments that are only, exclusive to those who, participate in the event. Because again, you got to make your money somehow, Ferality staff team. You got to. I mean, and you got to make all the money. So you don't be greedy, but you get my point, right? So not only that, you need to have actual game designers. I'm talking like host like these events where they give like tips on, you know, how this works and how this works. Like have like TED Talks. Like can you imagine a fighting game community meetup where Maximilian dude and Who else? Who else? Mighty Keith is there. They hold a panel section while in VR for the first time, and then they can just do a Q&A. Like those are moments right there that you can't get back. So really think about that. And hey, have SNK there, you know? And I believe they already did like a little collab event with VCat. Keep that up. Because listen, the thing about VCat is that it's free and there's a lot that's offered. And Furality really needs to take notes from VCat or collab more with them because VCat understands what it means to host these events, advertise, and make the experience unforgettable. You don't want people start saying stuff like VCat's better than Furality because there's situations where it is and there's circumstances where it's not. They really need to put their heads together and think to themselves, what can we do? What can we do? Maybe have the singers, right? Find someone in the crowd, just like in an IRL concert, find someone and have them sing a song. Or like have them like harmonize some of the lyrics. I get that that's kind of like playing with monkey's paw because like, oh, but what if they can't harmonize it well? Who cares? They paid their ticket. Let them have fun. And if it sells, it would just be a wonderful moment. Just like, wow, that kid has a lot of guts than most of the adults in the crowd. Even if it didn't sound all that amazing, they did something that will be, you know, you know, recognized in history. Furality has to take more risks. They need to really think twice on what is it that they can do instead of just games, this and this. Really branch out and ask yourself, what can we really do with Furality? Because it's bigger than just meeting that one star or that musician or that retired Hollywood individual or that big streamer. It's bigger than just attending these concerts. It's bigger than the panels. It's all about the community at the end of the day. It's all about people just meeting one another, talking, and just embracing the world. Don't make Furality feel like the same thing that anyone can get from a VR chat experience. And really push people who have these group only instances to kind of branch away from that and actually get to talk to people. Thanks to these group instances, these 18 plus only instances, more and more people feel divided, especially during Furality season, to the point where no one wants to talk to certain people anymore. They have this exclusivity based, attitude. Again, I know it's tough. And even I'm having a hard time thinking about what you could do, especially with the limitations of VR chat. But I think this is where the community needs to be involved just a little bit more. How about tour guides? How about those who have no idea what Furality is? How about doing actual tour guides saying like, hey, we're going to go travel these worlds, We're going to travel this world, this world. Have VR tour guides. Or someone who doesn't know what VR chat is, like they're new to it, have like VR chat tutorial sessions. That would be pretty cool. And listen, I would definitely love to be a part of that. I would love to help people and like teach them about the ins and outs of VR. And don't worry, I'm not going to talk about the hacker doctors. I'm just going to talk about all what's within VR chat, and that's it. Like I will literally give people an in-depth guide. It could be like hour I do this and another hour I do this and another. That would be something I would love, and many others will love to do, because we want VR chat to be shown in a more positive light instead of this negative light that everyone else likes to paint VR chat in, which understandably so, but it gets kind of annoying. How do you understand why I said what I said about why I just don't want to attend Furality? It's due to my lack of time. It's due to certain experiences that I can't shake off, even though most of it, Furality, was amazing and fun. It's due to how certain advertisers just abuse Furality. Same with streamers to the point where it just doesn't feel fun anymore. It's just the technical issues. And worst of all, it's that post-con depression that brings everyone down. And it's just not cool. It's like, oh, it's over. Now we got to go back to our human lives. There needs to be. Here's a good idea for a panel: those with PTSD, or those with not just those with mental illness, those with PTSD specifically. There's a lot of people who suffer from that. Have people like have moments where they can have like be at the panel and share their story. Have a poetry night where they can like go up there and actually like and have it broadcast too, so people will know, so their stories can be heard. Now I get what people are saying, like, well, not a lot of people want to be shown on the live stream, so that's why we only have moments where it's on live stream. Well, do this then. Have, pretty much, have it encoded onto the website where it has like a little red bleeping light where it shows this instance is live stream. This instance is not live stream. This instance is live stream. And make it multiple, not just an exclusive Breakfast Club based. This Breakfast Club based attitude is what destroys communities in general, slowly but surely, because everyone should feel involved. And another thing is this bringing up of drama of certain furries in general. Can we not? Can we not? I've had a run in with a notorious one that everybody already knows, who has made a mockery of the community. And people say, oh, they're brought back. I don't want to deal with that again. You know, we come to Furality to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, and to not feel like whatever. This entitlement from streamers has also needs to be put to an end. If streamers are going to be a part of this, they need to treat people a little bit better. And the groups needs to be utilized better. Instead of just having 10 people per group or 8 people, increase it to 20. Make the groups bigger so that way everyone has a chance. This 8 group this 8 group invite thing is terrible. And I'm going to be real with you. It's not good. It really isn't. And offer more when it comes to what people are paying for, not just whatever. Like actually, have people, I don't know. Hey, thank you for being a sponsor. Here's a T-shirt. Listen, T-shirts will never go out of style. Have us like actually put in our actual, uh, email and our mailing address and whatnot, so you can ship this stuff to us. I know you have a store, and that's great. Kudos to the merch store, and kudos to you all for still selling old merch from back during the first Furality. That's awesome. But there's just so much more that you all can do. And I know some people have already stated this before, but what about the 18 plus stuff? I thought about it, and I would say no. Furality needs to stay PG-13. It needs to stay that way. It needs to be a wholesome event with some suggestive themes. It needs to, because people need this. With everything going on in the world, people need that safe space. Whoa, someone talk about safe spaces. Well, cons should be that place where people can feel safe and not have to deal with all of that, okay? Like, seriously. But now I remembered another reason why I just stopped. Why I just decided to not want to attend Furality as much anymore. The lack of panel ideas. I don't get this at all. There is barely any representation for bronies. Barely any representation for, almost everyone LGBTQ, especially gynosexuals. And worst of all, there are so many panel ideas that are barely used. I don't I don't understand this. There was a panel that blew me away that was an all guys or whatever panel or straight furs panel. I'm like, so you tell me only straight people can be at this panel? Like that type of stuff just kind of, I'm not gonna lie, made me feel a little uncomfortable. Like, whoa, what's going on here? And that right there is where I say, I think I need a detox from Furality. I wish everyone the best. I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic time. But this pony right here, who's also a tiger wolf, because that's my main persona, is gonna have to say, no, I will not be attending Furality Somna. I will not be attending the after party. I have too much that I need to do and take care of. I have a dog that needs my, you know, undivided attention. I have a elderly, family member that needs my assistance, and they are assisting me to the 100% of every tenth of a degree. And it's just times have changed. I want my friends to share pictures. I want them to talk to me about Furality. I want them to tell me all the wonderful times. I want them to share me videos. And they want me to lurk in their streams and just check it out. I will do that. But as far as attending, sorry, I can't. While the positive experiences outweigh the negative, and while I still give my all my experiences mostly A's, I have to still say that until a lot of these concerns and just little gripes are kind of taken care of, I don't think I belong at a Furality anymore. Because now I just feel so out of place as someone who's also a brony. Like, not really feeling welcome, heck, even in this community as much anymore. So I still love it, but maybe perhaps I just need to shy away for a bit and just really think more about myself and what I want to do more in the future. But to everyone else, you take care, you be safe. Much love to you all. And if you all do decide to attend Friday, which I hope you do, please do not let, what I say discourage you from attending Furality. Because, like I said, if anyone for Friday ever had like an honest one on one interview or Discord call, they will be amazed at how positive I am about Furality because holy crud, I love it. But it's going to be interesting. My first ever Furality that I say no to. And of course, the next three that I say no to. And you know what? That's okay. Oh, here's another reason. When you make plans to see someone and you don't see them. However, I will still show my support for Furality. And what I will do is I will gladly, if it's in my budget, pay for someone's ticket. I've already picked someone, so I hope that she has a fantastic time. But as for me, nah. And she was pretty bummed out about that. So, but hey, if you happen to see me at a Furality, it's because someone was nice enough to give me one. But with how I've been treated lately, I highly doubt that's going to happen. So, go forth, have fun, create unforgivable, unforgettable. I say unforgivable. Yeah, be definitely unforgiving towards your negative emotions because you deserve to have positive emotions. Ha! There you go. But create unforgettable moments. Enjoy yourself and embrace the beauty that is Furality. This is Wilgan speaking, and I got to get back to work on a lot of things. I love this community so much. Regardless, take care and always be safe and show love to one another.
I'm back. And now I'll take the second machine. So, long story short, that's pretty much my reasons as to why I'm not attending Furality. No hard feelings, but you gotta know when some things on your end just has to come to a temporary end. Doesn't mean that you can ever do it again, but that's just how life goes, you know? You gotta keep yourself focused. It appears to me that Vanessa is done with their stream, so that's good. Oh, Silly Mom's on. I'll go lurk her stream. I really don't understand the whole point of trying to, be partnered anymore. I mean, am I the only one that has that feeling? It's like you achieve it, so like, well, then what? I don't know. I guess I'm just the only one that has that type of attitude. But if y'all have any questions as to why I decided to not attend Furality and possibly the next three Furalities, let me know. However, because I know things will definitely get a lot better for me in the future, I don't mind, paying for someone's Furality ticket. So for the next 3 years, um, you know, just let me know. But it has to be one person. So the first person to message me is the first person, that will get the ticket. Because I don't know how much these tickets are going to be. They're probably going to be just as much as what? A video game these days. How much are video games these days? What, $80 now? They're $80. So, or is that mostly just AAA games? I think it's just AAA games. They're mostly just $80. I don't know. So yeah. I'm ready to play some Fatal Fury City of Wolves, honestly. I know y'all probably tired of my yammering about stuff. And you know what? I want to get on that topic because I know there's a lot of you out there that act that way towards me. I want to tell y'all a story. It all started when I was a kid, right? And they're doing some maintenance, ain't no big deal. It all started when I was a kid, and I will never forget the one time where I accidentally smacked my lips. And when I smacked my lips, my mother got on me the first time and told me, "Who you smack your lips at?" Now I know you probably think, "Oh, I've heard this before from someone else." But here's the difference, though. See, you probably heard the story of, "Oh, I got smacked" or whatnot. She didn't put her hands on me. If anything, she taught me a lesson that I'll never forget. She told me, "Figure it out yourself. Since you know everything, figure it out yourself. Since I talk too much, you got it." So it was time to, for school. I got up on my own, and I had to make sure that I got everything. And she she barely would say anything to me. Oh, she'll say good morning, but she gave me that look like, "You grown, you know what you're doing." I had to eat cereal. I had to get the eggs and jelly. You know, I saw that the trash was full. She was teaching me. She was like, mm-hmm. What she was teaching me was be very careful who you tell they talk too much. Because let me tell you something about life. You're supposed to talk. You're supposed to communicate. I don't understand this world where people feel like it's a crime to communicate. It's a crime to talk to people, you know? And I just kind of laughed because it's just, people get so angry when you try to just give advice. I'm not even going to say help because I said that numerous times. I'm talking about just give advice. And you want to know who's the hardest types of individuals to ever give advice to? Those that are high up there, those that are up close coming to succeeding. It is so difficult to get anything to their skull because once they're up there, they feel like that whatever you got to say, unless you at the same level as them, means nothing. And that is pure ignorance. You hear me? If someone is wise, they don't have to be at your level on every facet of your life to give you advice. Because if that advice is Bible and it's helping them and it's helping others, why not listen to them? But we live in this world where people feel like, well, if as long as they're making the same amount of money as me or more, and as long as they're better than me, I will take their advice over someone else's advice. I got some good advice from someone that literally was a former crackhead. You know what he told me? He told me, he taught me a lot. And this is what he told me. He said, that stuff exists for a reason. It exists to purposely cause people, regardless of race, to fail. That the moment they're addicted, they're going to make the money, and then they make more money out of you through these, psychiatric evaluations and whatnot. They know what they're doing. They're just testing you to see if you're going to actually try it. I've learned this from someone that was quote unquote a crackhead, as they say. I didn't deny it. I shook my head up and down and said, I thank you for the advice. Because you just never know. But going back to my story. So, went through school and everything was going fine. Until one moment, something happened. I started panicking. I lost my folder with my homework. I swore to the teacher that I did it. My teacher was very nice and told me, bring it tomorrow. I talked to my mother about this, and I apologized and everything, and she told me, she said, you got it. You got the lesson. The lesson was simply watch yourself and be just a little bit more careful with your words. And to you all, you're probably thinking, well, dang, your mom is nice. I was under a lot of stress, okay, when that happened because I was a perfectionist and I wanted to make sure that everything was always just hunky-dory. Like there was no issues. Challenges is fine, but I didn't want like no major issues that stopped me from, complete set challenge. Does that make sense? So when my mother did that, it was a lesson that I will never ever forget. Be very careful when you tell people they talk too much because they will stop talking. And when that happens, goodbye. There are people, right, that wonder, how come my friends stop talking to me? We now live in the era where technology is a lot more advanced than ever before. Go back to your previous messages and then ask that question again. Ask it again. Oh, that's why. And this time when you try to apologize, it's not going to work because they're going to look at you and be like, nah. See, that's the beauty of being a child. You can make all the mistakes you want as long as it's not law breaking. And you'll still be punished for it, but it won't be as severe. But as you get older, when you turn 18, that's when the gloves comes off and says, nope, Now you got to serve jail time. Nope. Now you got to pay this fine. Nope. Now I'm going to call the cops. Nope. I'm going to let you get beat up. Why? Because children need to be trained up not just by the righteous part of society, but mostly by their parents. Yes, it takes a whole nation to raise a generation, and it definitely takes a village to raise a child. But that child is not going to listen to a single doggone thing anybody says unless the parent gives the thumbs up. Just going to be real with you. Last night, I just went to a random bar world after listening to this one veteran VR chat um, player, user, whatnot, who was talking about all the glory days of VR chat. And they pretty much stated that they've done their research and they pretty much heard and seen everything about what's going on in VR chat and how it's just turned into a cesspool these days, and how people now feel a lot more unsafe on the app, how it's different, it doesn't have that charm that it used to, personal preference, I believe. And so I went to that bar war, and of course I got asked a question. I gave my date of birth and age. I want to make this perfectly clear because I know a lot of people saying you dox yourself when you give your age and your date of birth. How can you dox yourself when you give a date of birth when you're not the only one with that birthday? So when someone puts in, you know, I'll just say it, 09/19/1993, it's going to pop up a whole bunch of names. How are they going to know which one's me? Like, honestly, the only way that I dox myself is if I give out my full address and the city of the state that I'm in. Giving an age and a date of birth does not equal you doxed yourself. I just found that to be now, unless there is this new method where hackers are finding ways where they can just pinpoint where you are just by your date of birth and age. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just find that very strange. But they made a lot of good points. And this is why with my group, when, my friends want to do bar instances, I immediately said no. I said no. Because bars are dangerous IRL. And they're dangerous in VR chat. They're dangerous anywhere. So why would I want to even bother with that? I did that one time throughout the year, and it ended with some kid lying about their age. And I just looked at this kid like, why do you do that? Like, what was your purpose? Did I care? No, because it's virtual reality. And they have parents. And if their, parents are silly enough to let them be on this app knowing that they do this type of stuff, there's really not a single doggone thing that I can do. Now, I had some words with them. I gave them some advice. And whether they took that advice is up to them. See, I'm the type of person that's going to give you advice. I'll shake my head at you, but I'll give you advice because I've been there, done that. And, I just kind of laugh because it's like, all I remember is all the times that I will go on those M-rated video game sites and I will always, put in a fake year. We all done it. So it's like, okay, okay, you did it, but and when someone says stuff like, "Oh, we can get your bar shut down," wow, I'm gonna be so heartbroken that a digital bar gets shut down. Digital, fake. VR chat, man. I don't know. I don't know what's happened, man. I don't know what's happened. But there is another reason why. And I forgot to state this. So yeah, my story time's up. Now I'm just going to go back. Just one more reason I forgot to add to my voice recording while I was exercising and working out. Another big major reason as to why I just don't want to go to Furality anymore is what happens after Furality. All right, the depression, and people going to these after parties and how they flood every single furry instance, and it's just difficult just to get in without lagging. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna deal with my FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Even though I don't have that fear, but I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I don't mind missing out. They can say that, oh, the creator of SNK, someone from Nintendo, you know, Don Matrick. They could tell me that, the voice actresses of Minerva Mink and Peg Pete were there, and I will say that is fantastic. But I had to work, and there's nothing I can do about that. And that's another reason I forgot to add, that I should have added on, which is work. I'm going to pay all this money, and then I can only experience half a day because of work on Saturday and half a day because of work on Sunday, which means I only experience 2 days and then half a day. And if I'm lucky, if they're nice enough, they extend it to another day. It's just, I'm just over it, man. I'm over it. I know things will get better, but it's just like a lot of people, those that are older, they're just getting at a point in time in their life where they're just like, man, I'm over this. You know, you ever just been over something where you could just look at that person and you could just be like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. Like, have you ever just, been yelled at by someone, and your initial reaction when you're a kid is either to fight back or, based on how you were raised, you will cry or, get offended. But as you get older, you just chuckle, you just look at them and say, is this really worth my time? Like, is this really? Time is very valuable, man. And I decided to invest my time in getting groceries, working out, getting on the cycle machine, getting on a treadmill, streaming. I'm pretty much doing I pretty much did 2 streams. I did one with, Vanessa. It was a very confusing time, but I really enjoyed the company. I had the best hoagie sandwich ever. Um, you know, I am just simply, just enjoying my life and enjoying myself. So I just honestly got no complaints, to be fair. Yeah, executing combos in this game is quite awesome. Definitely took a lot of inspiration from like Killer Instinct in a way. How they change these combos. Let's talk about Fatal Fury City of Wolves and why in the world this game, after all that advertisement, has a peak number of 4,674. It has not changed. Wait, has it? I'm gonna double check real quick. Did this number change? Because I'm honestly quite disappointed. Because I was expecting this game to just blow me away. Same with Bleach, Rebirth of Souls. Number of players now is 2,236, and it has stayed at 2,000 around this range for quite some time. So it's still steady at 2,000, which is good, but its peak is 4,000. And then once again, I'm going to be a broken record with this. Bleach Rebirth of Souls. 6,709 players, but only 259 playing right now. And don't even get me started with Sparking Zero. This one hurts. This one hurts my soul. 122,554 players. 1,537 playing right now. Akira Toriyama, if he was alive, would be devastated by this. And guess what? Whose fault is this? It is the fault of corporate greed. Corporate greed kills, man. But as long as they got their money, they don't care. I mean, heck, I'll still play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's Dragon Ball, man. I've been wanting a Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi sequel for a long time. So, of course, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be very happy with this game. And I am. But I'm going to rest my throat for a bit. And I just want to, real quickly, just showcase another voice recording. You're probably wondering why you do voice recording, stuff like that. I do my streams differently because I value my health. As I've proven before, can talk for 12 hours. I have 12 going on 10 hours. I have proven I have done it. I have done it before where I talk for over 14 hours. And the voice has, your voice box has to rest. So what I do now is I just do these little voice recordings, plop it in there, and if you like it, awesome. And if you don't, well, it's cool. I do streams the way I want. I'm not worried about, but you're not going to make it far if you do it this way. I don't care. I never care, and I never will care. Because that's just not me. Now, without further ado, also make sure y'all tune in to Monday Night Raw. I heard it's going to be really good. Because Raw and SmackDown and NXT, I mean, shows have always been good. They always had their little issues, Even when people say, this was the worst this, worst that. When I look back, I'm like, the shows were either pretty decent or good. I never found a terrible show in wrestling because I always loved the imperfections of it all. Unless it's like something really, really bad where, someone got fired or someone got injured or someone got, murdered, then yeah, I would consider that a worse show. But if it's just little botches here and there, is it really that big of a deal? If wrestling was perfect all the time, it would be boring. There will be nothing to look forward to. And that's kind of like the issue right now with wrestling a little bit, where it's just not a little bit, but, like during this decade where wrestling has to be pristine, clean, perfect, and it can't be super edgy anymore. And I'm not going to lie, even with the role play that I do, it's great that we have matches and we're cutting promos, but that's all we do. And it's going to get stale. It's going to get stale real fast. We got to have something going on. And that's it. That's all we got. And I've noticed that's all we do. All we do is just that. That's all we do. We just cut a promo, wrestle. Cut a promo, wrestle. Cut a promo, wrestle. I like it, but it's like I want to do something else. Like we need something to add on to it. I get it. It's supposed to be like this sport, right? I get it. People really want to push pro wrestling to be a sport. That's fine. But even sports have their entertaining moments. With that one football player doing the dab. That was an entertaining moment. But, anywho, I'm going to rest my throat, get some more water. Don't stay on the cycle machine for a bit. Y'all enjoy this voice recording called Guest Character Backlash. Enjoy. I hope you all are doing good and you are supporting your favorite streamers and you are giving them the love that they deserve because they work tirelessly to entertain you all.
Let's get some things straight here, okay? About the whole Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, people being upset with guest characters and whatnot. People were not upset over the fact that these two are in the game. They are upset at the fact that the characters were in the base roster of the game, okay? No one hates Ganache, no one hates Ronaldo, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of what happened there's just allegations because if they were true, he would not even been in the game in the first place. We're hoping that it's allegations, okay? But with all that being said, I never really hated any of these two. So I don't know where all of this, oh, the fans want it. It is definitely one of the weirdest twists in the fight game community. And it's also pretty much should be a wake up call to the fight game community as a whole. And I'm so glad that Maximilian Dude is actually talking about this. And not just Maximilian Dude, but a lot of people need to address this. The hypocrisy of people is such an issue, not just with the fight game community, but also with the wrestling community. But I think we pretty much all know about that. It's not just with the wrestling community, it's also with the sports community. And that's something that I really should have touched upon. See, I actually, during my Strange Freak, wanted to talk about, I said week. I wanted to touch upon the fighting game community as a whole, but that would have took way too long, and I would have actually needed my homie Cable J454, aka Cody, to help me with this, because the hypocrisy is just off the charts. But one of the biggest issues that I've noticed with the fighting game community is just the fact that how they were on board with guest characters and now they don't like guest characters. Listen, I said this and we've all agreed that this should have been taken slowly. Okay, like it's cool to have certain guest characters and fighting games and whatnot, but it should have never gone overboard the way that it did. Same with Smash Brothers, same with any of these other games. But let's be real here. Without these guest characters, these fighting games would not have sold as well. It has been proven time and time and time and time again. And people just don't want to admit that these fighting games these days cannot sell on their own anymore because of how they're marketed. Now, here's what I don't understand. With this apparently this third world country well-known DJ Salvatore Ganacci, and with this world well-known soccer player, Mr. Ronaldo, one has to ask, with all of this money that Saudi Arabia is obviously giving, SNK corporation as a whole, why the low player count then? It is literally the launch week of this game. Why is it that the player count peak is at 4,674 with these two guest characters, well-known celebrities, as the base roster? I'll tell you why. It was because of how they marketed the game. If they really wanted to get people to entice into the game, I'm gonna be real with you. They should have chose only one of these characters, and only one of them should have been DLC. It would have made sense if Salvatore Ganacci was in the base roster and Ronaldo was just DLC. Maybe as like a little free downloadable, just say, hey, we're celebrating the launch and we got this character. But I guess the reason why they didn't do that is because they knew. Oh, people are probably not going to want to try this character out. So let's just force him into the base roster. You don't do that. But then again, you're dealing with such a hypocritical, community that honestly, I feel like anything would work. So, I mean, come on. We're talking about a time where we had console exclusive characters. Link for, the GameCube version of Soul Calibur 2, Spawn for the Xbox version of Soul Calibur 2, and of course a Hachi Mishima for the PlayStation 2 version of Soul Calibur 2. And then out of nowhere, the Soul Calibur 2 HD Online Collection comes to save the day for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 only, sadly. No Steam version, which is terrible. And you could play as both Heihachi and Spawn. But no news or any plans for a release or a port for the Nintendo Wii U. Why? Where you could play as both, we could play as Link, Spawn, and Heihachi. Was it licensing reasons? Or was it just the fact that Nintendo was like, I don't think people would care about that. But, that's just Nintendo as a whole, so let's just be real about that. But the whole 180 is because one person stayed true to who they were. They actually were a fan of Fatal Fury. They actually cared about the fans, and they actually did work hard to win over the hearts, and they did not respond negatively to the criticism. They welcomed it. And that's why over time people end up loving Salvatore Ganacci. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize people actually hated this, but whew, the hilarious comments is one of the greatest things I have seen within this community. It is absolutely baffling and hilarious. But now it's just, well, they're kind of gone now. And I'm just glad that I was able to see and witness this myself. The true hypocrisy of the fighting game community. It never ceases to make me laugh and amaze me. Same with the wrestling community. They're just as bad. This is why, and I said this before, 10 years ago, they go hand in hand because they're both hypocritical. They don't know what they want, and that is why wrestling is the way it is, and that's why fighting games the way it is, and that's why there's a stagnation. But I will say this, SNK, don't ever do this again. Don't ever force guest characters into a base roster, or as a matter of fact, just don't do guest characters ever again, because clearly you didn't know what you were doing, and this is why you're left with a, well, player peak of 4,674. That may be impressive in the indie scene, but not so if someone from Saudi Arabia is trying to pump money to this game. So he's going to want to expect a little bit more than that. I gotta say, man, out of all the fighting games, this has got to be some of the most weird, backwards, controversy slash advertisement I've ever seen for a fighting game. I mean, fighting games technically have been advertised before, but not to this level. And even with all of that advertising, with WrestleMania, with the boxing match and whatnot, 4,674 players. And with all these big streamers, 4,674 players total. Please fix that, because the game is actually pretty good. They've actually fixed a lot of the issues, when the game was launched, which I was like, what, a patch already? Like, SNK really wants this game to do well. And heck, I'm even trying to advertise this game. Even in VR chat, even with my streams, I'm trying to help advertise this game. It's just sad, man, because let SNK's Fatal Fury City of the Wolves be a prime example of what to do and what also not to do. It's like what that one commenter kept saying in Event Hubs, when you try to make a wish with the monkey's paw, it always backfires. So yeah, people love Salvatore Ganacci, but here's the funny thing though. Salvatore Ganacci's having a lot of subscribers all of a sudden and views. A lot more than usual. Like his latest vids. But the Fatal Fury game is suffering because of this. That shouldn't happen. I guess that's what happens when you make the deal with the devil. It always backfires. Guest characters in general was always iffy with me, but in the end, who would have ever thought that it would ever go this far?